help me welcome on the virtual screen with a round of applause, virtual applause using reaction buttons, distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha Rangarajan, the Program Quality Director of District 121. Over to you, Vanitha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Azhar. Hello, District 121. Come on video for me, please. At least the next, 45 minutes? Come on video for me so that I can feel just as loved as Gauri has felt or Prabhakara sir will be feeling. Now, one of the things that I've learned in Toastmasters is that the more you give in Toastmasters, the more you get out of Toastmasters. And mentoring is one way to give to the community. The more you give through mentoring, the more you get out of the Toastmaster community. Today's very, very important session presenter. Now, he is literally called the Master Mentor. He has mentored so many people who've gone on to mentor not just individuals in our district, but across the world. Now, one of the very big highlights for me of Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara is that he was the founding member of one of the strongest community clubs that we have in District 121, MECON Communication Club. 22 years ago, Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara was instrumental in chartering MECON Communication Club. He retired as a project engineering consultant, and he was working as a project engineering consultant there, and then he retired as the joint general manager, head of the elect and automation department at MECON Limited. Now, about his Toastmaster stint, he has been a past area governor. He's been the club coach for our district. He has headed several times. He's been on the district leadership committee for various district elections that we have had. He's been a mentor to several district leaders and seen them not just help grow in the district leadership, but also in the international leadership. One of his mentors has gone on to become the past international director, and he today mentors 1,000 other people in their journey. Now, some of the things that Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara has done is that he has been consistently giving education sessions on things that are very close to him, to his heart. And mentoring is one such topic that he completely believes in. Now, you will not be able to understand because he does not go about talking about the number of people that he has mentored. But every contestant here has always made sure that they've made that one phone call to A K Prabhakara sir to get their speech reviewed before a contest. Every district leader here has made that one phone call to AKP sir to check whether is there something else that I should be doing? Am I having service at the back of my mind? Is there any tips that you can give me for making myself a better leader to serve the community? A K Prabhakara sir has been very, very instrumental in multiple Toastmasters achieving not just their communication goals, but also leadership goals. He is whom we call the Master Mentor, and very rightly recognized by the CEO of Toastmasters International, Daniel Rex, and also by several past international leaders and including the past international president himself. It is truly our honor to hear it from the Master Mentor on the art and heart of mentoring. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha. And without any further delay, I would now hand over the screen to Distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara, who is one of the first Toastmasters in Bangalore and who has been spearheading the movement of Toastmasters in India and in Bangalore, especially Karnataka. With that note, help me welcome with a virtual round of applause using the buttons available, reaction buttons available. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Prabhakara sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhakara sir, you're audible. And I would request you to also pin the timer, 0 timer Nana, so that you can keep a track of time.
Okay. And am I visible?
Yes, you are perfectly visible, sir. Looking handsome as well.
I think I'm presentable also.
Definitely, sir. That's what I said. You're looking handsome as always.
Okay. District Director Nirmala Lili, PQD Vanita Rangarajan Jha, who gave a wonderful introduction about me, and I'm sure I'm going to meet that extra prize that she has made of me, and CGD Savita Salyan, Gauri Sheshadri, the star, fellow Toastmasters and guests. When a member becomes Toastmaster member or he enrolls into Toastmasters, the club officer receives an email saying that the purpose of Toastmasters is to help people become better communicators and leaders by providing an atmosphere of acceptance and assistance. Note the word atmosphere of acceptance and assistance. The next line, the question to the club officer is, have you assigned a mentor? This is the importance given to mentoring in Toastmasters. Mentor has his job cut out. He is going to get a mentee. He's going to be allotted, and that mentee comes with certain expectation. He thinks he has seen, for example, from kindergarten days till he graduates out of the university, he gets an impression that he can talk the way his teachers, the lecturers, the professors speak in front of them. But when he stands in front of audience, he gets apprehension, becomes anxious, nervous, and sweat starts really on his face. Then the question is, what is it that makes him anxious? That is about the problem that I'm putting on the table first. The problem is not with the member or the individual or you. It is with the way our brain is designed. I'm going to talk about that. There's a limitation there. And whether being anxious, apprehensive, is it normal? This is the best answered by one faculty from Stanford University, Graduate School of Business. The faculty name is Matt Abraham. He says, he quotes a survey, 85% of the people feel nervous and anxious when facing in order to speak to the audience or answering a question spontaneously in front of an audience. The other 15% who say they don't feel being nervous or anxious, he says, are simply lying. This means all the 100% feel nervous before giving a talk in front of the audience. The question is how the mentor can resolve this issue. I'll handle this side of the question in the second part, our second presentation, a PPT presentation. In the first presentation, I will take you through what is the mentor-mentee relationship as perceived or conceived by Toastmasters International. It's a presentation from Successful Club series, and it is downloadable to any member of Toastmasters. So let me start the first one. Okay, thank you. This is from Successful Club series, and it's mentoring. What is a mentor? I'll take you through this PPT as fast as possible because most of it is self-explanatory, so that I have more time towards the second one. What is a mentor? A mentor takes personal interest and helps. This is important. He has to take, the mentoring is always one-to-one, and he should be ready to help. Serves as a role model, coach, and confident. Because he is a person who is there already in the Toastmasters for some time, when he's assigned the role of a mentor, he will be performing this role as a model, coach, and confident. Offers knowledge, insight, and perspective and wisdom. It depends on the individual to some certain extent. Knowledge, insight, perspective, wisdom is there. It's all with respect to the Toastmaster. There's one word I would like to bring in here, make an extra mention of that. This is confident. When a person confesses his weakness, don't tell outside and exploit. He believes in you. That trust is important. And his strength you prize, and his weakness you push it up. He push it up in the sense you make up for it, and later on he will really make it up, and then go ahead, and you will be surprised to know that his strength, and he will be stronger, and his weakness becomes his strength later on. That's one thing I wanted to mention in this process. Helps someone become successful. Successful is relative. Whatever he thinks, the mentee thinks is as success in Toastmasters, you should ensure he does that. And mostly it is about reaching a certain level. Maybe in the pathways, maybe 1 or 2 levels, all the one path complete. It's like that. It's up to him, but you should ask him that question and set some expectation for him, that there is somebody to ask whether he's performing or not. That's what I'm trying to say. Ease the transition, learn the program. Learn the program is Toastmaster program, how it works. And in more so in present situation is pathways, how to interact with base camp. For that, the mentor should be familiar with the base camp. Learn club standards and customs. Each club has its own some minor difference, and that can be told to the mentee. Develop confidence. Put an arm around him, at least a psychological arm around him, pat him, so that when he does right, you reinforce that, and he will feel better for having performed. There are times I have told some of my mentees who were not able to utter a word when a table topic was posed to them. I told them one thing, that remember, when a batsman is sent to the cricket field, he is there to occupy the crease, not to get out. More so in test match, and Toastmasters is about test match, long journey. So allow to develop confidence. I have told that person that in case 2 minutes is given to you, it is yours. Even if you are silent there, be standing there. And then later on, as you really go through the Toastmaster journey, you will be able to make connections inside and start speaking. And finally, the kind of person that I'm talking about, he addressed an audience of 300 people later on in his professional life, just by encouraging. Participate more, you have to tell him, because more participation, however small the role, it starts refining the way he speaks, I talk of disciplining the mind. I'm talking of the brain being taught. So let us focus towards that, participate more, quickly learn speaking skills. The more you do, I always tell people that in the form of physical meeting now in front of the camera, the more you are behind the lectern or in front of the camera now, more time you spend, the better you become. Pilots' hours are defined by the flying hours, and Toastmasters hours experience I define by lectern hours. Developing skills, more experienced members further refine skills. You are in the better company of Toastmasters, you can refine skill faster. Learn new skills, definitely you learn new skills, it's obvious. Benefits for mentors, learn from their mentees. I have learned a lot, and each one brings his own meaning of life, and that has been one that has kept me going for so many years. Remain productive. You can when you lend a hand, you feel that there is something happening that is very positive to somebody else's life, and that really reflects back on you, and you cannot dislike that. In start you start liking it, and it becomes an obsession. If not, I don't want to use the word addiction, obsession is better. Do something for others. This is the one crucial one that gives you a lot of satisfaction. If somebody who you have mentored performs well, and you feel very satisfied, and it's very fulfilling kind of experience. Receive recognition. In Toastmasters, if you have mentored somebody, you may not receive any recognition, a medal here and medal there. No, it is recognition is somebody says that when one mentee performs well, and other people in the net, they ask him, who is your mentor? And he points out to you, let us say. and there you get the recognition, and that is the one that will remain, hold you up, your morale goes up. And that kind of recognition is something that is virtual, not actual, but that is the one most meaningful. Benefits to clubs: club gets more members, more satisfied members, higher member retention. DTM Gauri Sheshadri talked about it. And mentor qualities, he should be available. That means even when I was doing highly tensed mentor availability, I talked about, I think you heard it fully. And,
yes,
and he should be patient. Patient in the sense that each person has his own learning curve, learning ramp. Some may be very fast, some may be slow, but you have to treat them for what they are, and you should be patient with them. Sensitive. Some of in India especially, people come from different strata of society, different backgrounds. Some may be strong in English, some may not be. It doesn't matter. We have to be considering all these things. We have to be sensitive towards that, and gradually everyone will pick up and reach the point that you wanted them to reach, but you should be handling it very sensitively. We have, yeah, he should be available. I had talked. He should be patient, right? He should be patient, sensitive to the individual's needs, because in India people come from different places, different strata, different background, different towns, cities. They may not be as exposed the way you are exposed to the world. You should be very patient with them and respectful. The reason I use the word respectful is for the reason that I have already told, because of the different backgrounds they come from. And Toastmasters values is RISC. That is, it stands for respect, integrity, service, and dedication to excellence. Remember the acronym RISE. And respectful, this is the one that's very important. Flexible. You should not be rigid, saying that you have to do a particular project only this way. He may have a different way to deal with that. If it is good enough, you should allow it, because he will blossom in his own area or space where his strength lies. And then you should be supportive. Come what may, you should really be holding him up for whatever strength that he has. And a mentor is most probably knowledgeable. Otherwise, normally Toastmasters or club officer appoint the knowledgeable person only, and he will be knowledgeable, and he should be confident. I'm sure he will be really gone through some grind, and he will have done that. He should be a good listener. This is one thing that is one of the prime qualities of a mentor. Concern for others, obviously, he should not come. Anyway, this is concern for others is obvious. I don't want to explain. Mentoring, first steps, first meeting, sit with the new member, or now you have to phone up. Second, orient the new member to club customs and procedures, obvious. Explain how to sign up for the roles. Each club has, maybe one club is through WhatsApp, another through email. In our club, we have a business meeting in which the roles are told in advance. Next week's project speeches, whoever has booked the slot, whoever has taken up the roles of G is announced. That which has not been taken up will be announced there. And then it will be signing up takes place, and that process should be known. And the very act that he requests is the first step towards leadership. I always tell that. Feel confident that you can ask and really get the role. So help with the icebreaker. This is the most critical one, the icebreaker. If you see pathways, icebreaker specification in the tutorial, all the instructions are given in one place. They never repeat in another place. Every time you give a speech, go back to the first speech, listen to the tutorial. There he explains opening, body, conclusion, and nowhere else further he does it, because that is the fundamental stuff. And icebreaker should contain, I'll explain a little more about yourself, that is your family, interest, and profession, what I call as FIP, F-I-P. If you write fairly well designed icebreaker speech, that will stand you for most of your Toastmaster journey. It can always be tweaked to find out, discover many topics from your icebreaker speech itself. That is the importance of icebreaker speech. The next meeting, make mentees aware of resources. Resources today is straight in the base camp. There is it's a self-learning tutorial is available, and it is at a self-paced program, and mentor should be familiar enough to guide him through that. And once it is done, mentee will start helping you to know a little more. That's what I have found. Provide positive feedback, understood. Explain responsibilities. He can take initiative in the club. Once he becomes a member, he wants the club partly. And if he takes initiative, well, that's how the leadership ladder first step is there in place. Explain in case somebody absents himself or herself, he should take up that role, and that is how he can move forward. Help with speeches and other assignments, obvious. Mentoring steps over the time, tell how you have been benefited as a mentor. Invite the mentee to other events. Acknowledge progress. When a person reaches a certain milestone, he deserves a pat on the back, definitely. Explain officers' duties. Today it is available right away in navigation. As soon as an induction ceremony is conducted for a new member, all you have to do is orient him to the navigator that is available in the base camp, and explain it to him and send the PDF to his email address so that he can go through it independently, and if he wants, he can ask you in case he has any questions. Explain speech contest, obvious. Describe the organization, the club, area, the division, and the what's up to the board of directors. Qualities of mentees. He should be eager to learn. He should be receptive, open to new ideas. He comes with some preconceived notion. He should be open to new ideas. He should be loyal to the Toastmasters values, let us say, and he should be grateful for whatever the Toastmasters as an entity is going to contribute to his life. The relationship is finite. It should not last forever. But if you somebody is your mentee and he's successful in his journey, he becomes your lifetime friend. And it is said that this statement is more towards saying that please don't be attached to each other, to the extent that when you separate out for some reason, there will be pain for some kind of during separation. So it should be with some sort of a detached way. It should be there in place as far as mentor-mentee relationship. Conclusion: experience, learn, and benefit. It's mutual. It's a mutually supportive ambience. Never forget that Toastmasters is that. That is the first part of my presentation. The second part, I will start now. If you have noticed one thing in the previous presentation, Toastmasters International has given a framework, a structure for mentor-mentee interaction and relationship. They have not told how to really go about fixing the speeches for which are the public speaking or communication for which he has joined. How to fix that nut and bolt, and that is the one that I'm going to talk now. You may have your own way of doing things, but at least you should know one way. And that one way perhaps is the one that I'm trying to point out now. I would like to start by saying that pathways, I have already talked. Pathways, lot of importance is given to the mentoring, and in every path, the project 2 in level 2 is how a member has gone through and felt about mentoring that he has received. And there is a specialized advanced mentoring project that is at level 5, and it's for a period of 6 months. And he can choose mentee, or mentee can choose him, and it's more like HPL project, lot of logging minutes and what's like that. And he can be thorough with how to mentor the mentee, and that is for 6 months. I've already talked, mentors should be familiar with Basecamp. why I keep stressing this is that this something like this framework is more like a bank software where you put money, take money, and then send money, things like that. Similarly, Basecamp, you should be familiar. Basecamp always reflects whatever happens in physical meeting or right now the online meeting. It can be it is reflected in the Basecamp, and it can be reflected in Basecamp. If you give a speech, the draft can be uploaded. If you receive evaluation, you can upload. We used to write in small sheets the feedback to the individuals. Today you can do it right away, and that feedback can be lodged inside. There's a place for that. Every information can be lodged. You can take it out, put it in, and you should be familiar with that. That's why I stress that particular aspect. Mentors, mentees, and support. There are two types of mentors and mentees. You must remember this. Everybody is not proactive. There are some people who are proactive, both mentors and mentees. There are more mentors and mentees reactive. So a proactive mentor or mentee plans, prepares, takes initiative to execute. A reactive mentee performs by pull and push. Unless you shake him up, he won't act. And if mentee may have to drive the mentor in that case, or if the mentee is reactive, maybe mentor has to push him and make it happen. They have to set expectation of each other. Then we have mentees. Initially, they need hand-holding, and later on, only enabling. I'll tell you about enabling, you will understand. One of my old-time mentees phoned up. He has taken a pathways program. He said, sir, I have a problem with one project speech. I have to address an audience who are difficult. How do you, and I have to give a speech and they have to answer, I have to get questions from them. I have to answer that, and I have to make in such a way that audience is difficult. Then I said, this is the ideal time to do it because COVID situation. You say that all of you who are in the audience have been called for this meeting because in the next 2 days, you have to go around, do survey of different areas allotted to you. And COVID, you have to make this thing and survey, and it is as per government directives, you will be given PPE, personal protection equipment. And you inspire, people will, then they will become very agitated. And then the questions will come, then you can hand. Then all I did when I said that, sir, this is a very tricky thing to deal. I may not be able to manage. I will take it in another way, but from the same COVID situation, government, everybody, every expert is promising that COVID vaccine will come anytime, but it has been they are telling it for months together. I will give a speech on that, and that difficulty I can face. See, what I did was, by telling this, I triggered his thoughts. As a mentor, I just triggered his thought and he took over, and then perhaps he has delivered the speech itself. This is the enabling, facilitating to an experienced Toastmaster, even though he is still a mentee. Initial handholding, one case, recent one, I would like to cite. And he called me up, he may be in late 30s and early 40s. He said, he's a new member. He said, sir, I would like to speak on generation gap. Then I said, there was a sort of pause, silence on the other side. I knew he needed more than just enabling. I told him it's very easy. How to do it? I went about telling him, saying that your daughter or son may be dressing in a way that irritates you and your wife. She has bought a very expensive jeans which are torn below her knee all over the place, here and there at the calf muscle, and your son has paid some money to a t-shirt which is exorbitant, unnecessary, useless stuff, and you are irritated. But at the same time, remember, when you were a teenager, you were dressing huge bell-bottom pants or extremely tight pants, how it irritated your parents. So these are the two bodies of the speech you have. Then the question is how to make an opening for this speech, he asked. For that I said, it's almost a law that in every generation, teenagers dress in such a way so as to irritate their parents. Then once that statement is made, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, these kind of dresses my children irritate. Next is through a transition, tell how he irritated his parents. Then conclusion is that change is the law of life. blah, 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 you conclude. And the speech is over. And then he said that he will do it his way. He knew how to do it now. So this is initial hand holding. And this I just gave as an example, as a mentor, how you should really see the problem the way he sees the problem and explain it to his level. This is one of the key slides that I have made. And this is from Toastmasters International magazine, February 2016, written in an article written by Maureen Zappala, DTM. This is a joint study by Rice University, Johns Hopkins University, and Columbia University. Here, thinking comes from different areas of the brain. Different areas, they are located adjacent to each other. This is what is the finding. And we write, you must remember, it's an extract from that article. We write differently from how we speak. Writing, we edit ideas slowly. We edit ideas slowly using formal and less conversational phrases. Please note this. While speaking off the cuff, we don't edit much. The reason is that these two come from different areas of the brain. We think before writing, but speak before we think. The table topic helps exercise and discipline the brain to even out this disparity. That's why Toastmaster is not an overnight journey like Nescafe coffee. You just stir it and you drink it. It's all hot, everything done. It is not. It's organic and it's a gradual growth only because brain takes some time to really close this gap or disparity. So this is what is to be remembered. See, there are recommendations like first write and rehearse. I would say first speak and record. You speak what you want to speak. Nowadays, tool is available in mobile, record, then enter into your PC or laptop, whatever, right? And remove what is not required. Then you get clarity. And clarity is everything in a speech. That's the first number one in evaluation sheet, all evaluation sheet. I'll show that. Then use transition. Transition, like, let me explain something like that. Or I'll give an example. In order to prove what I have told, this is a transition. This transition to move to another area of your speech is important because that is a place where you can pose a question to yourself and then move to an anecdote or a story. And remember, you are good at table topics by that time. And in table topics, you don't mind reacting to as a response to a table topic and you're good at it. But when it comes to project speeches, you will be holding back. And how to stop that holding back is through transition, using it as if it's a table topic. Then key to confidence comes from conviction and writing the speech. I've already touched that. Then vocal variety. Vocal variety is very peculiar animal. And many people ask this question, how to get the vocal variety? I always say that incorporate dialogue into your body of the speech. When you incorporate dialogue, the voice, the dialogue between two characters or three characters, you can change the voice easily. You assume that particular character, you can change it. I'll explain that a little more in the next slide. And gestures, because you are acting out, the gesture also comes naturally to you. And how to decide whether your speech is long, short, or whatever it is, it's about 100 to 120 words. If 700 to 800 words, your speech is designed and written, you are safely going to be within 7 to 7.5 minutes, you can say. This is just to give an idea. It's a practical one. Then I have gone to find out, is there a definition for speech? A speech is essentially a combination of information and opinion written on paper and then spoken. This is a statement by one Peggy Noonan, presidential speech writer. She was a presidential speech writer for Ronald Reagan, US president. And she has also tell something very useful. I always call it as a useful statement she has made. she says that if you have thoughtful conversation, a lot of times we have with our friends, peers, a thoughtful conversation. And if you have thoughtful conversation, you can write about it and give a thoughtful speech. Remember, where to get the topics, I'm trying to lead you to that place. Another view of speech making or speech design is, consider that you have 7 minutes. Look at it in an algebraic way, high school level algebra. Time allotted is 7 minutes. OBC is ABC of speech and XYZ of a speech. Yes, speech is equal to opening, body, conclusion. S is equal to O plus B plus C. Yes, if you expand it further, S is equal to opening, transition, then body of the speech, transition towards conclusion, where T is transition. Then if you have two stories or anecdotes, then body of speech, the equation becomes speech is equal to opening, transition 1, body 1, transition 2, body 2, transition 3 towards conclusion. This is all there is to a speech. And time distribution, 1 minute for opening, and body of the speech 2 into 2.5 minutes, like 2 table topics, and conclusion is 1 minute. It is distributed. You understand it? Try to understand it in a very simple way, in a more structured way, then it becomes simple. Then there is another way to look at the whole issue. The opening should contain what? Attention catching opening leads to speech topic. Body of the speech, anecdotes, incidents from personal life backed up by 1 or 2 well-known published stories and statistics. Well-known example, if I tell my life story as a thing, my story, my experience, your lesson, people may not like. They say, are you Mahatma Gandhi? No. You have to say that, okay, you have to pick up something from your life and say, such and such a thing happened to Edmund Hillary. Maybe I was trying to climb a small mountain hillock nearby my place, but this nearly happened to him, Edmund Hillary. Then people will believe you. I'm trying to exaggerate and give you some example. So you have to mix it. Okay. Conclusion, review or summarize. Call to action or make a memorable statement. See, the review or summarize, this conclusion has to be looped to the open. A lot of people miss this point. And this is a critical one, and that should not be lost when you are understanding the whole process. Once you do that, then you check your speech with respect to evaluator's sheet or form for its completeness. Then talk to mentor, send it to him or her a week in advance. Then comes why week in advance. There may be some changes, some discussion may take place, some brainstorming may take place. And for that, you have to keep some time. Resource for topic, on the left-hand side, you will see resource for topic. I'll explain that. And here, I think I'll have to know-how comes from Basecamp. Today, it is not in hard copy, it is in Basecamp. So you must remember that, and you should be thorough with that. And let us see what happens next in this slide. Here, in every evaluation form in pathways, there are 7 things that are stated there and for evaluation, and the last one is about that project, that particular project. All through they talk of clarity, eye contact, and vocal variety. Clarity, I have talked. What you don't need, remove it from your speech. What remains is the one that you want to talk. If you eliminate the improbable, whatever remains, however improbable, is the truth. This is stated by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, author of Sherlock Holmes books. If you eliminate the improbable, whatever remains, however improbable, is the truth. So you can arrive at the clarity. Eye contact, it's you have to stand at a distance, not the way I'm sitting now. Then the people will think that you are not reading from the script. Otherwise, getting eye contact through laptop, it may not be that simple. But let us remember that eye contact is not that difficult. If you focus inward as to what you want to convey, eye contact, your eye will be automatically moving from person to person. Whoever is making some sort of a movement while listening, automatically it will move. Because your eye looks, or your mind looks for somebody who is distracted. So it will move. Don't bother too much about it. Vocal variety, I have talked. vocal variety and gestures I have talked, that comes from incorporating dialogue into your speech, wherein you will be delivering an anecdote, giving an anecdote, and it should incorporate some dialogue and gestures. Audience awareness is important. If I'm addressing, suppose I'm talking, I'm told to talk about a kite and flight to high school students or school children, then I will tell them how to put a string across the kite, put a tail so that it doesn't swing around in the air, and I will tell them how to hold the thread, and it's a joy of flight, kite I'm talking, I'll be talking. But when it comes to adult audience, maybe educated audience like we have now, I'll be talking of aerofoil formation, the pressure differences, little bit of physics, and what is the connection between a kite and a flight, I'll bring in there. So it depends on the audience. And comfort level, what is that comfort level? Is that Winston Churchill had said, wow, somebody asked Winston Churchill, how is it that you are so at ease with in front of the audience? But he says that my confidence comes from different assumption. That assumption is he always thinks that he's superior to everybody in front of him because they have come to listen to him. He is superior, and that boosted up his morale. For example, in my case, I won't be able to, I have not done that. My idea is to serve the audience, and to that extent, maybe sometimes I'll be repeating what I'm stating, whatever I'm talking, I'm stating, so that I consider that the point is driven home. In the process of doing that, I will feel comfortable enough in front of the audience. That's what I feel. The interest, the last one, the interest engages audience with interesting and well-constructed content. This is a very tough balancing act. This is about a certain leadership element. What interests the audience is some kind of a guesswork that you have to do. Let me give a shot at it. There is always, it's a speech, short speech I'm going to make. In a corporate setup, there's always a tussle between resources. Resources tussle is between the person, working person level, an engineer, and the management. Management in terms of money and time, which always they are short of, and whereas the engineer level person, he wants it, both the things, he wants more. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. It was a leisurely afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and there was one person who was having a good time flying a hot air balloon. And as it was moving, he reached a space. It was blue sky, looked down, it was a vast agricultural field. He thought he has lost direction. He didn't know where he was going. But he looked down and he finds one person walking in the field. He lowers the balloon and shouts at him, "Hey!" The person at the ground level looks up and says, "What?" Person in the balloon shouts again, "Can you tell me where am I?" For that, the person on the ground looks up and says, "You are in a hot air balloon over a vast agricultural field, 40 feet above the ground." For that, the person in the balloon responds, "Are you an engineer?" Person below her on the ground, he says, "Yes, I'm an engineer. How did you know?" For that, the man on the top, he says, "It was very obvious. You told whatever you told was fact, but it is of no use to me." For that, the man on the ground looks up and says, "Anyway, are you from the upper management?" For that man, now he's surprised. He says, yes, "How did you know?" He says, "It is very obvious. You don't know where you are. You don't know where you are going. You must be from upper management. But now that you have told this problem to me, the whole problem is mine." The engineer thinks he takes it upon himself to solve that problem. We may have laughed at it, but the situation is different in real life. That person, he said, whole problem is mine. He owned the problem. He took it upon himself. That makes a huge difference in corporations or in a given hierarchy. This happened to one person, one Shuji Nakamura. Shuji Nakamura was working in Nichiya Corporation in Japan in early 1980s. He had been assigned a job of finding blue LEDs which were being very hotly researched by many people, but it was very elusive. He was not able to do it. But he had one who had kept himself updated, an electronics engineer who was a very keen person. He came with the gallium arsenide LED diode, which was bright blue. But they wanted white light. What he did was that he further researched and came up with a phosphor coat by which he could get from that blue LED white light. That changed the world, I would say, because that bulb, white light, what he derived as a process was easy for manufacturing. And for whatever he did, he received an incentive of $180 from his company, Nichiya Corporation. All this he did was, at that time, he was told to stop. When he was taking time and money, they said that you stop the research, and all he did was all the work he did was in his leisure time. And it was nothing to do with the management. Management had removed him from that job. Finally, for having done this, he got a patent, the company got the patent, and he got incentive of $180. And later on, it's another story that he sued them, but in 2014, he received Nobel Prize for it. All this happened for one reason, that he owned up this job and he didn't give it up. On conclusion, when a job comes to you, ownership is the one that decides whether you are going to be the one who will provide the required solution and execute the job. When a cricket player is put in the field, he is supposed to throw the ball back to the wicketkeeper. But when it comes to really crux of the issue, if he throws down the wicket, he becomes a star. And that is about owning and ownership of a particular location in the field. Over to Toastmaster. It's a small speech I have given in order to drive home all the points that I have given here. The impact of that LED research is that this was the GLS lamp. If it is visible to you, it's a 60-watt lamp. And the present one is this. It consumes 9 watts, and this one used to consume 60 watt. In Britain, they cancelled 9 thermal power plants because of this one invention, and planet is saved because of this. And you can this and Toastmasters, you can bring the human side of it, how the project was cancelled, the tussle goes on and what's like that. Connect what I told in this process is, it's a joke that you might have heard. An incident like this you might have read in newspaper. Bring them together and you have a speech. This is what I wanted to drive through as a point in this. And if a mentee can respond to table topic, then why does he hesitate? Why does he hesitate to give project speeches? Because he runs out of topics. Why he hesitates is he runs out of the topic. And if you want to have a rich source of topic, it is in your icebreaker. I have pointed a family interest profession, FIP. Other places to find topic is newspaper, magazine, and books. In both these cases, I have conducted many workshops as to how to find topics, and how to find topics as a project is available in MECON Communication website, downloadable. And you can find topic and how to go about doing it. I have demonstrated it's there, it's downloadable, available. Table topic responses are very rich source of topics. And what I do, I want to give it, it's not a secret. Every time I respond to a table topic, these are the last 6 months collection, I write how I responded to the topic through half this quarter sheet of paper. This I do it so that my mind or brain gets encouraged, that each time I came up with a new response for a different topic, I was able to respond. It's very, very important I do that. Then mentor should ask the right questions. What mentor should do. This is from Alex Malley, Toastmasters International magazine 2015. Ask the right question. You do not need to know all the answers. Avoid over mentoring. You should not over mentor him. Allow him some freedom. I have talked about is do not be afraid to share anecdotal advice. Never be share your anecdotal advice the way I gave COVID instance to one of my mentees, and it triggered his thought. The idea is to trigger his thought. This is an important statement I'm going to make. It isn't that. This is by on G.K. Chesterton. He was a person who wrote essays in British magazines and humor magazine Punch. It isn't, I read out, it isn't that they can't see the solution. It is that they can't see the problem. What I have done so far in this presentation is I helped you see speech making and delivery as a problem, how to view it as a problem. And I'm sure you will find your own solution. I have pointed a solution, one way of solution. You will do it successfully, I'm sure. I have given some fundamental ideas. Fundamentals are not easy to grasp. That's why they are called fundamentals. Fundamentals are called fundamental because it has funda and it is mental. Thank you.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Prabhakara, sir. And definitely it was a very jolly as well as a very candid conversation that you did with us. It did not seem like a session. It was more like a conversation with us. Now, I would definitely encourage all the audience to put in their questions into the link that I have already shared in the chat. I'll be sharing the link again. It's already 7. We have already crossed the time, but I would definitely love to take 2 questions and put it in front of AK Prabhakara sir to be addressed right now. So first question that was very first question that was asked Prabhakara sir is from Nagaraj Rao sir. I'm just copying it. So it reads that, what do you do if your mentee is in a tearing hurry to complete the projects to get the certificate and not interested in learning new skills, just for the certificate? So how do you handle such mentees?
Say on this, okay, you are unmuted. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible now, sir.
Okay, my friend DTM TK Ramesh, he was a former district director. He had a fine saying on this. There are 2 types of Toastmasters. The one who is achievement oriented, he wants to get certificates. Another is the one who is on the path of discovery. The person who is on the path of discovery, he is not in a hurry. He is on the path to learn more and more. And he will take the Toastmaster journey in a path which is methodical. Person who is in a hurry, he will try to do it, but the evaluators are there who will stop him in the way, saying that you are not up to mark. And indirectly, sandwich method or whatever the method, they will try to tell him. And no, most of the people in Toastmasters are sensitive enough to understand this. And if he's in a tearing hurry, I have seen people going from club to club and doing it. And if it thinks that they have achieved something, it's up to them. And I'm not normally the one who come in their way at all.
Okay.
Very little hold on them.
True, sir. That's a very matured response, because most of us young people would have panicked already. Like, how can someone be so reckless just for the certificates they want to do? But then that's the maturity that you are speaking with. That let them follow whatever they want to, but then have a sense of direction there as well.
See, let me add something. Let me add something. In 1998, when we started, what happened was that evaluator had to say, please take up next project. If he doesn't say that, we were not in a, we were told not to move to the next project. And that was removed somewhere around 2002 or 3, I'm not sure. And after that, there is no there is no bridle holding anybody. If he zips through, it's very difficult to hold him. But I have not seen that much thing happening. But it does happen. And I see in pathways, people are not understanding something crucial in the evaluation sheet. That is, you are not supposed to repeat what is already written. It is not to report as a report. You should not do that. You should give a speech, and that some people are not understanding. Maybe that has to be sorted out at a different level. Maybe I have to talk to district or how to figure it out, in such a way that they understand the meaning of that. That's a separate issue. Maybe next question, please.
Yes. So the next question is coming from Murli, who's the area director of B4. It says, how to ensure that punch is added at the end of the speech? Do we need to have a list of powerful quotes, or does it come spontaneously? Should we be prepared always? That's what he's asking.
See, it is today the quotes are available in plenty. Murali is master, I know. See, we have done a project, that's what I tell. It's available, and there are A to Z letters, 1,500 letters, which are positive and proactive kind of words, lending itself like for the Toastmasters alone in our MECON communication website, where there is a mentor center. If you click on any of those words in that Excel sheet, it will take you to the quotation in the Google, particular type of quotation. You take, say, if you want to say, let us put it one word, propensity. You click on propensity, it will give out quotations on propensity. Or click on proposal, any quotes on proposal, it will take to proposals in Google. So this is a tool that is available today. I have made that it's available. So you choose among the one that is most appropriate and fit into the line of thinking. That's where the Toastmasters today in Parkway stress on clarity. And clarity, I have told, is remove what is not required. And towards the end, what you have to tell, it will come automatically if you see some of those quotes. And if you keep on speaking, the right kind of words will come from your mouth, and latch onto that, and then look for that in the Google, you will get that right kind of quotation. And you just incorporate that. It can be joke also, you can put that.
Yes.
One person who is asked one more question. Is there any recommended time period to be mentor, even though it varies from person to person? There is no recommended period. As long as the mentee asks for some help, give it. And if he doesn't ask for help, ask him whether he needs it. And if he says he gives signal he doesn't need, then drop. And later on, some other day, if he comes to you, again, surrender to him and he asks some questions, solve it. Later on, he will continue or not continue. It's not a lifetime membership, that relationship. I have told that in the beginning itself.
So thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster A K Prabhakara sir. And indeed, when I have joined Toastmasters, ever since I have been involved into my mentoring, and it checked all of the points that I already had in my mind, and it has created more points to think upon. Thank you so much for that candid, lovely, and such an expression filled session. Thank you so much.